Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today we're going to take another closer look at Goison. Now obviously we did plenty of Goison videos before the balance update. Now I thought we should kind of, again, revisit it after the balance changes have hit. And what better player to do it with than Kawan pushing the big Dinny account. And he has a really interesting Goison deck that's absolutely been dominating to the tune of Ultimate Champion. Over 6,400 trophies right now with this deck. Now, if you don't have Ewiz and Royal Ghost, guys, not to worry. We're also going to cover a deck played by Samuel, which he actually faces Dinny in the first matchup. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it only has a Miner in that deck. So we'll take a look at that deck in a moment, and then maybe we'll even play, we, meaning me, yours truly, we might play that deck at the end of this episode. So we're going to have a lot of fun today, guys, so I hope you're excited for this new look at Goison. Let's take a look at the first matchup here, again, against Nova Samuel, who's another amazing player right now. Well, he's always been. Why do I say right now? He's been a great player for a long time now. So here we go. Good luck from the players, and let's see how they start. Now you can see the deck on the top, guys. It is the other version of this Goison deck, and it doesn't have Ewiz, it has Musketeer, and it has minions instead of Royal Ghost. So you do have that non-legendary flexibility, and you also have Miner. So I guess you could say there's Miner instead of Royal Ghost. Either way, the same deck cost. So both of these decks are going to be rather fast for a Goison deck at 3.4 average elixir cost. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and unfortunately lose that Ewiz to the Prince of Samuel. However, we're going to have a little counterattack of our own here. Now we drop the Ice Spirit before the Zap here to see if it's going to target onto those minions before we waste our Zap. As you can see, it didn't target those minions, so we're not going to waste the Zap here. So then we're going to use the Mega Minion on the Miner. We don't really have a great card until Royal Ghost to target that Musketeer, but we do avoid the Musketeer damage on that right tower. So now we're just going to kind of let this die out. Maybe we'll get a hit with the Royal Ghost. Indeed, we will. Actually, we'll get 2 hits because of the invisibility. Always nice, right? So Samuel chances it here, thankfully not taking a hit from the Mega Minion, but you can see we are not in the lead at this point. So, you know, from here on out in the match, as we enter the second half of this match, guys, you're going to notice one thing about the way that Dinny plays this deck. He plays it rather aggressively against kind of a mirror match in a way. So you can see him right here. He has a Giant Prince combo, and so does Samuel, but we're going to be fighting on his turf here, guys, and that's not normally something we want to do. However, with this deck, it's all about getting the Giant to the opponent's tower, and that's exactly what happens here. You can see a few hits from that Giant, plus the poison. It did a lot of damage to the opponent's tower, and then it took out his troops too. So I mean, that's the perfect case scenario. Oh, the Plex Chat tournament is ending. By the way, guys, did you hear? I'll be streaming starting probably today. If I release this video tomorrow, which I think I will, I'll be streaming every single day on Facebook. Really excited about Facebook going into 2018. They're going to be doing big things in the streaming genre, I guess. So really excited to be doing this. I'll be streaming 10K tournaments 5 days a week. You got that right. 10,000 gem tournaments, 1,000 person tournaments, 5 days a week. Those are going to be sponsored by Plex Chat. So yeah, tune in, guys. Follow me on Facebook. I'll have the link in the description below. Anyway, back to the match here. You can see, you know, things are really close here as we're approaching overtime at this point. And this is going to be the big push for us. A nice Ice Spirit to stop that Prince from charging. Our Prince gets a couple stabs on him. Now we're going to start to go all out here. Mega Minion played on the minions. We have the poison down. We just need that Giant and the Royal Ghost to get to that tower. And indeed, they both do. The Royal Ghost kind of distracting that Prince for a moment. All we need is one blast from the Giant or a poison. We get them both, kind of, or a Mega Minion swing there. Either way, we get the tower down. So very well played. And you guys saw how aggressive we were there, especially at the end. Now, this is the deck played by Samuel. I do want to give a quick shout out to Everything Fun with Rocky. What sounds better than Everything Fun with Rocky? My YouTube sponsor of the day. Shout out to Rocky, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. So here we go. This is the other deck. We'll play it at the end of the video, guys. I've never been a huge Goison player. It's not like it's a high skill cap deck, but I wouldn't say it's a low skill cap deck either. It's not as easy as a Golem deck, which an old fart like me really prefers, okay? So here we go against Oktay. Now, I forgot who's I think it's AK-47 pushing Oktay this season, and he's a really, really good player. I might be wrong there, but I think it's him. Anyway, you can see we're on the top this time, guys, not to be confused. We're going against a really difficult hard counter deck. It has a P.E.K.K.A. in it. So how are we going to deal with a P.E.K.K.A. balloon kind of control deck? Oktay's playing a very interesting and very lethal deck right now. It's kind of a counter deck with the balloon as the main win condition. Maybe I should do a deck review on this deck too. Jeez, it looks really good. Anyway, let's see how we can handle this. How can we beat a deck with P.E.K.K.A., Miner, balloon in it? Just a lot to throw at us. It's definitely a very bad matchup for us. So let's see how Big Denny deals with it. Now remember, guys, or not remember, but this is a beautiful thing that you see right here, guys. So he plays the P.E.K.K.A. in the back before we played the Giant. So if your opponent is playing P.E.K.K.A. or has a hard counter to your Giant, and they play it before you play the tank, you always immediately hit him opposite lane, and you hit him right at the bridge. And you can see we get the bulk of our damage throughout this really entire match off of that one push right there. We do take a P.E.K.K.A. swing. She had a sliver of health left on that left tower, and she did get a swing off. So we actually got very close to tying things up there, I should say Oktay did. Now we have a charging Prince. Now look at this Prince. It's going to be really annoying. We zap those bats. He zaps our Prince. Prince still gets to the tower, and Oktay really didn't have a good option there to stop him. Now he uses a Miner defensively against this Royal Ghost. You guys know that a Miner will always win the match against a Royal Ghost if you have your Princess Tower helping out. So as long as a Miner is a good defensive option against a Royal Ghost, 3-for-3 trade, not the end of the world. So now we play. This is an interesting move here, a really interesting one, so we should really take note of this. We played a Giant at the bridge, knowing that he had P.E.K.K.A. in cycle, right? So why did we do that? Why did we play a Giant at the bridge? Well, we played a Giant and an Ice Spirit, so we could freeze the P.E.K.K.A. for a little bit and get a few swings on that tower, taking it down to 694. Now, this is a very important defensive sequence, so I'll get back to that point in just a moment here. You know, a lot of players would have lost their tower there, but really perfect positioning by Denny, and we end up mitigating the damage. We end up we almost, lose the tower. You can see 114 HP, but that's going to be a big difference here. We're going to force out a poison or something out of Oktay here. Now, you must be thinking to yourself, how the heck can we win this at this point? We use a very nicely timed Ewiz on the right, trying to mitigate damage from that balloon. Meanwhile, our left tower goes down. We take down his left tower, and this match is going into sudden death overtime. Now, that last point I wanted to make, guys, is we knew he had P.E.K.K.A. in rotation there. We still played our Giant. We played the Ice Spirit to get a few swings on that tower, and then it ended up really working out well for us because we got the P.E.K.K.A. out of his rotation. You know, it turned into a very lucrative counter push, so not ideal there, but that's something that you guys can do. If your opponent has a hard counter, you can go in for a really soft push like that. Now, he does get the balloon to our tower. However, some really timely defense there by the Prince and the the Mega Minion, excuse me. I don't know why I said that. Actually comes through for us in the clutch there. So Giant gets to that right tower, gets a swing or two off. We have the Ewiz played in the pocket, really ends up being the difference here in double or in overtime, I should say. Of course, it's double elixir time, and we take down that right tower. That was a close match between pretty much two of the best players in the game, really on top of their game, with two fantastic decks. Hope you guys enjoyed this high-level content here. Ultimate Champion, baby. And now we're going to go against Marco, but we're going to watch this one in double speed because, let's face it, we do have the matchup advantage. Unlike the last match, we definitely have the advantage over Expo, right? So Marco actually does get a connection because we started off with a Giant behind the tower. Now, if you guys watch the channel, you know that Marco is one of the best Expo players out there. Look at this push. It ends up going from the right lane all the way to the left lane. We force a fireball out of Marco there, but remember, we can be very aggressive against an Expo deck, and we can play a Giant at the bridge just like we did. We end up taking down this tower, or almost. Now we do, with that swing of the Mega Minion, and we can just go 4-speed here. here because honestly, guys, if you take down a tower against an Expo deck, it's pretty much game over. It's really difficult to mount a comeback. We just have to cycle to Giant and play him right on top of the Expo. So that's exactly what we do there. We can speed things up here, and, you know, I just wanted to show this replay because I recently had Marco on the channel, and he's a really, really, really good Expo player. He's been holding down the #1 spot this season pretty much more than anybody else in the game. Alright guys, it is time to go ahead and hop into a live match. I'm going to use this version of the deck you guys can see with the Miner. I'm a huge fan of this version. Certainly you can have success with it whether you're on ladder or in grand challenges. Let's see. I don't know about this starting hand here, guys. I'll start out with Ice Spirit, I guess, in the right. And let's see. We're just going to go left lane here because we had no other play at this point. So I'm sure he has an answer at some... Okay, he has a minion horde. So, you know, that's all right, I guess. I wonder what he's playing here. Minion horde. Okay, hog deck. So we don't have a good answer for this in the left. We're going to go ahead and play an Ice Spirit on the left of the tower here. We're going to take a lot of damage on this left tower, but it's really, you know, it's definitely not the end of the world. We're going to play a Giant here at the bridge. And he answers with a mortar. It's the Motor Hog deck. I hate this deck, guys. So let's see what we do here. We're just going to go ahead and hammer away. Hovering the Zap spell. We're going to take care of this gang here with our overleveled Zap. Don't hate me. Don't hate me, guys. So here he comes with the Knight here. We're going to let this Knight go. I don't think he'll get a swing on the tower. He says, wow. He says, laughy. He says, laughy face. Alright, so I'm just going to start a Musketeer here. I haven't seen a spell out of him yet, but I imagine he has Fireball. So we'll play Musketeer over here in the left. And he plays Hog in the right. So we're just going to have to use a Prince over here. We freeze that Hog temporarily. And we're just going to let this push die here. I'm not going to supplement it with anything. Of course, I should have used a more timely poison on that Minion Horde, but... it's okay. Maybe they will force a zap out of him here, and if he does, yeah, there it is. Okay, so we'll zap back, and we don't take a hit on those minions. So things are kind of in recovery mode here. Things are looking better all of a sudden. We have the Giant, so we can't really use Mortar. We're just going to, again, freeze this Hog Rider, and unfortunately, he's probably going to get like 3 or 4 swings. 1, 2, 3... Okay, so we'll play a Giant again at the bridge here. Now, this is probably not going to be a super lucrative push, guys, but we're going to poison. I think he's going to play a gang or a horde. There's the horde on the Musky, of course. So we burn a Zap there. Probably didn't need to, but what we're going to do next time is really key here, guys. Next time, we're going to go with a Prince instead of a Giant. You guys will see. So we play Musky. And then this time we're going to use minions. We can't afford too much more damage. We baited arrows out of him. So he doesn't have a big spell. So we're going to use a Prince. Oh, and we're going to be able to avoid this Mortar here, guys. This is what we're going to do, right? See, check it out. Mortar. Oh, boom. That's it, baby. That is GG. I mean, yeah, that's GG. And the beautiful thing was, sometimes when you're going against a Mortar player, we'll just drop down a Musky here. Sometimes when you're going against a Mortar player, you just want to make sure we win this here. Sometimes you can distract them like that, right? So we'll just drop a Prince, good game, and that is good. So, yeah. I mean, you can distract the other player oftentimes by... when they place the defensive unit first before you drop the Giant, then you can drop the Prince instead, or you can send in a Miner or whatever. And as long as the Mortar is onto the Miner and not your support troops, you'll come out avoiding that Mortar, or you can send in the Prince, and the Prince, of course, has a more narrow line of sight, so he's not easily as distracted as the Giant would be. So that's how we actually came away with that victory, and it was a pretty sloppy match by yours truly. Anyway, guys, do want to give a shout out. Hope you enjoyed this video, by the way. I do want to give a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Make sure you check out his information in the description below. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end, guys. Really appreciate it. And as always, take care, guys.